are you doing? Today is Wednesday, the 5th day of the month of May 2021, and this is our second lesson for today. Our second lesson for today is shadows, opaque and transparent objects. Shadows, opaque and transparent objects. Why not translucent objects? In previous lessons in science, we saw what shadows are. And we said shadows are the picture or the image that is formed when an object stops light from passing through it. When an object stops light from passing through it. We saw another type of shadow, which was the shield. And we said the shield was a type of shadow that was used by Indonesia and China storytellers, people who told the stories of this country, carried a bowl of fire on their head, and this bowl of fire was reflected on a screen, and the shadow called the silhouette was formed on the screen. But today we are looking at the normal shadows that are formed when objects stop light from passing through. Now let us look at the different types of objects that we have on our chalkboard. Opaque objects. What are opaque objects? Opaque objects are objects that do not allow light to pass through. Like this carton, it is an opaque object. Light cannot pass through this carton, so this carton is an opaque object. We can also think of wooden boards. Wooden boards are opaque objects that do not allow light to pass through. Look at the book here. This book is an opaque object because it doesn't allow light to pass through. And you can think of the walls, the block walls of our class. They are opaque objects because they do not allow light to pass through. Let us look at transparent objects. What are transparent objects? Transparent objects are objects that allow light to pass through them totally. They do not stop light from passing through them. An example of transparent objects are glass. Unfortunately, I don't have a glass here to show you. Glass, lens, they are all examples of transparent objects that allow light to pass through. And then the last category of objects we have are translucent objects. Translucent objects. The glasses of our class, the windows that we have here are translucent objects. Example of translucent object. They are tinted outside. From inside, we can see outside clearly. We can see the highway. We can see cars moving on the highway. But it is difficult for somebody to see us from outside. So these are tinted glasses, and they are examples of translucent objects. They allow for some amount of light to pass through. Another example is sunglasses. Some of us put on sunglasses when the sun is too hot to protect our eyes from sun rays. These sunglasses are examples of translucent objects. So let us look now. Let us find out what is the relationship between opaque objects and light, and what is the relationship between transparent object and light, and what is the relationship between translucent object and light. Let us start with opaque object. When light touches an opaque object, it doesn't pass through that object. When light touches an opaque object, it doesn't pass through that object. For instance, if light touches this carton, which is an opaque object, light will not be able to pass. So the image or the shadow of this carton will be formed in front of it. The image or the shadow of this carton will be formed in front of it. So translucent or opaque objects do not allow light to pass through them, and when light touches them, a black shadow or a black picture is formed. Black picture of the object is formed in front of it. Let us go to the second category of objects, which is transparent objects. Transparent objects allow light to pass through them without any problem, without any obstacle. That is why transparent objects do not form any shadow. Since light passes through without any obstacle, no shadow is formed when light touches transparent objects. When light touches transparent object, no shadow is formed. Let us go to the last category of object, which is translucent object. Translucent objects, as we saw at the beginning of our lesson, are objects that allow some amount of light to pass through. I use the example of our classroom windows, the glasses. They are tinted, so they are translucent. They allow some amount of light to pass through. So what happens when light touches it? When light touches translucent object, a gray shadow is formed. A gray shadow is formed. The shadow that is formed is gray. It is not black like those formed by opaque object. A gray shadow is formed. So that is the relationship between light, opaque object, transparent object, and translucent object. That is the relationship between light, opaque object, transparent object, and translucent object. Thank you very much. See you in our next class.